This video was solely inspired by a video I saw by Hamza where he was recording himself teaching people in Adonis school about the importance of only having one goal or just a couple of goals and solely focusing on those. And I think that teaching was based off of a book he was reading called Essentialism, which I'm going to read in the near future. But it's important to have basically just a couple of goals, right? And the example he gave was he did a drawing where there was basically a circle and there was like arrows in many different ways, but they were very short arrows. And then there was one where it was just a circle with like one long arrow. And you get the picture very quickly, right? If you focus on one thing over a long period of time, you're going to achieve more, right? And people kind of know this. We've heard this before, but it's difficult to grasp because we all like want to achieve like many different things. Like for someone like you and me, where we have like things we want to achieve, it's very difficult for us to be like, okay, I'm solely going to focus on work or on academics for the next 2 years, or I'm going to solely focus on my business. And it's like, well, what about my fitness, right? Or what about my self improvement? What about hobbies or just something extra you want to learn, right? I'll give you another example that it shows exactly why this is so difficult. It's something like, for me, I'm trying to kick off my YouTube, right? And there's two aspects to YouTube. There's obviously like the making the videos, making good videos, and then there's monetizing it. And for me, I've found it difficult to like separate that and let go. Like I've always thought like I need to do both of them because I want to make good videos, but also want to make money from it. And the point Hamza was making in the video is that just focus on making good videos, because once you make good videos and you blow up, everything else comes with it, right? And I think if there's one thing that will get people to sort of let go of all the other fringe goals, it's just like look at the bigger picture, right? Like stretch out your timeline. Like Iman always says, stretch out your timeline. You have a lot more time than you think you do. But also just think, for the next 2 years, like just ask yourself, for the next 2 or 3 years, if I was to focus on, it doesn't even need to be that, just or in the next year, right? But over a long period of time, just ask yourself, for the next year, if I was to focus on one thing, what's the one thing that a year from now I'll be happy that I put 100% of my effort in? And again, it doesn't need to be just one. I know like it's difficult to, there's no plausible reason for me to be like, no, I'm not going to work out because I'm focusing on work or whatever, because you got time to sneak in a workout, right? And okay, you can put like 2 or 3 goals, but really like get rid of all the other fluff. Just ask yourself, what are the 2 or 3 things that if I focused on solely for like the next year, right, I'd be so happy with like the amount of progress I've made in my life, right? And the thing you need to realize is that this kind of it's kind of like a zero-sum game basically, right? Your attention you've only got like a certain threshold of your attention, right? You can't give the same amount of attention to your work if you're giving it to your work, your fitness, your side hustle, self-improvement, and other things, right? So the more you cut off, the more success you're gonna have in that thing. And you need to think of it like this. It is basically like a zero-sum game, right? The more, and again, I've said like I think you can include fitness together with like your work and everything, but I'm just using it as an example. The more I focus on my fitness, the more success I have in my fitness, or the more effort I put into my fitness, the more successful I am in my fitness, but the less successful I'm going to be in my business. And you need to start thinking of it like that. So you need to ask yourself, what are the main things, right? So for me, I'll use myself as a case study, right? So I think I put down 4 main goals, right? And I know I'm not supposed to be doing 4, but I'll explain to you how I set them out, right? So the top one, I've asked myself, what's my top one? My top one is definitely academics, right? Like I'm studying to be an accountant. The thing that will hurt me the most this year if I fail is like my academics. I could end the year in like kind of bad shape and I'll be fine. Like I'll be able to, life will move on, right? I could end the year without doing too well on YouTube and I'd be really disappointed, but life will go on, right? But something like my academics, if I fail this year, like I have to stay here. I'm not gonna like move on and like start working next year. I'm not gonna progress, and that's the thing that's going to hurt the most, and I'm still taking it pretty seriously. So for me, it's academics, right? And I was like, a close second, which I put them like together. Like for me, YouTube is number 2, right? Like it's just as important. Like again, that whole thing is, if I focus on YouTube like solely for like the next 2 years, I'll do pretty well, right? So that's 2. And then I think the third one I put was building my friend group, and I think I actually put that at second. But for me, the way I look at like building my friend group is that I have like a couple of steps I need to follow. And I've talked about this in many videos about how you can make like friends. But the reason I put it so high is that I heard a quote from Kevin Samuels that I won't forget for a long time. And he was basically saying the reason like young men are struggling so much is that we don't have a group. We don't have like-minded people to, like help each other, push each other on, and like accountability partners and all of that. But there's a a massive ROI, massive utility in having uh, a friend group. Apart from the fact that you it's gonna be nice to just have like like-minded friends and everything. It helps you, it propels you so far on your goals, because now you're not like, say for example, you're around like people that they don't have like the same mindset as you. Now you're spending like time arguing about politics, something stupid like that. You get what I mean? Like your attention is just getting like, your brain is just messed up. First of all, like you're just lonely because you don't have like people that are like you, and you question your existence a lot more. Like, am I taking the right political stance or whatever? That kind of thing. So like, I'm straying now, but going back to the point I was making is that it's very important to have a core group of friends. So for me, I was like, I put that really high up. Right? Like I need to have like if I come out of this year and I pass my honors year, and I have a core friend group, and I'm unsuccessful at YouTube, and I'm unsuccessful in my like physique, still a pretty successful year. Like I'm still gonna be able to go on. But if I come out of it without like a good friend group, or without having passed my year, yeah, I mean, if I don't pass my year, it's literally going to be catastrophic, because I have to stay here for like the next year, where I'm living, and I'm not going to get to move to like my other city where I'm going to work, where I'm going to start working. Like that will be like the most catastrophic thing, which is why I put academics at first, and then friend group is very close second. If I come out of this year without like a close friend group, I believe it's been hurting me for like the last couple of years, and it hurts a lot of us. Like if you're lonely, you don't have like-minded friends, it's holding you back. Like it really is. I think you need to realize like just how important it is to have that. But anyways, I put that as my second. I put YouTube as my third, and then fourth I put physique. But again, what I did now is that what Hamza is saying, like you need to only have like a couple of goals. With physique, I've been like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it as simple as possible. Use as little brain power on it as possible. I wake up, I work out. Like I wake up at 4 and then I'll work out, and then by 6:30 I'm like ready, I'm bathed and everything. I'm ready to start my day and focus on work, on academics, right? And all I need to do is eat. Reach my calories, just eat. So it's eat and work out. Minimum brain power. I'm not trying to use any more brain power. That I'm not watching videos on how to get a better contraction on this and all that. It's like, no, just work out and eat. Minimum brain power on that. Even with my friend group, again, building my group, I have to do like a little bit of outreach. I'm going on like Discords and looking for like people who are like-minded like me and everything. And I've given myself like the next like week or so to do that. And then I'm gonna build like a group, and then I'll start like doing, and then from then onwards I'll start doing like weekly calls with them, and just to see like who I'm clicking with, and then eventually I build like my core group. But again, for the next week it's active, but then after that it's kind of just like calls every week, just schedule those. And again, minimum brain power. Then I'm left with space for 2, and that's academics, which I'm always doing, and then shooting YouTube videos. And again, going into the point to stretch it even further, again, within YouTube, what are the things that are going to give me the biggest ROI, right? And I think I went through this in depth in the last video I posted. They're kind of linked, right? Like you have to suffer, you have to do the hard things, but make sure you're doing them over a long period of time, and you're focusing it at something that you know is going to give you good ROI. But yeah, with my YouTube, what do I need to focus on? Making good videos, right? So I need to record videos. That's a non-negotiable. I need to record 5 videos a week, and then any extra time I have to work on it. Again, the Hamza thing where he was saying he literally just spent like 2 years just learning how to make good videos, right? So for me, it's going to be watching my videos back, learning how I can speak better, and all of that, right? And basically that's it. I've got my 4 goals. I've lined them out. It's academics, building my core group of friends, YouTube, and building my physique. Building my physique, I'm doing my best to make that as passive as possible. Same with building a friend group. Like for the next week, it's going to be like quite like active. Again, it's just like 30 minutes a day just looking. But then after that, it's going to be quite passive, and I've just got 2 goals. So every day when I wake up, it's okay, I'll do my workout and everything, and then it's like anytime I have extra time for whatever reason, I just know work on YouTube or work on your academics. Simple as that. And that's what you need to do in your life. Like focus on the essential things. And another thing that will help you let go of like the mindset of trying to do everything is just remember your life has stages, right? And there are things that are more important than others. Again, using the thing I told you, like a year from now, what's like the one that if you don't achieve that is going to have like the most impact on in terms of like how bad your life's going to be. Like for me, I told you like it's failing my academic year, right? Because that's quite important. And just do that. I think another thing that helped me realize this was I was looking at like Andrew Tate, right? And I was like, Okay, one thing we like taught in like self-improvement and like the manosphere, gosh, uh, is you need to have like the four pillars, like the Infinity Stones. What's it? Looks, status, money, and game. And I realized I looked at it, I was like, "Nah, he doesn't really have the looks, right? He doesn't really have game. Like, okay, he's charismatic, but I'm not sure how that properly translates to like getting women. And again, I'm just using this in like an example of like getting women. Like that's not like how I roll. I'm the one woman person, but in the context of what I'm trying to explain, the most important things for him is money and status, right? He's got money, he's got status. That his life evolves around that. All the good things he gets out of that, it revolve around that. The beautiful women he gets and all of that, it revolves around that. He's focused on money and status, basically. That's the essential few, right? Those are the two things that matter the most for him. And for you, again, you notice it's probably something quite similar for you. Like for me, I realized it's like I need to I need to learn how to make money. Like that's my biggest thing. My biggest ROI activity is going to be that. And then everything else you can always add on later. Again, you don't have to neglect your physique. Like I said, you can always make it like passive and just do like a simple thing every day. Uh, but again, you just focus on those two things. It's like, okay, I work out in the morning and I make sure I eat enough. But the rest of the day, I'm focusing on work and learning how to make money. That's it. Even like the looks maxing thing, like I'm still trying to do that. I chew like mastic gum to like help my jawline get better. But again, that's quite like passive. It's a passive thing. But again, there's no stop watching those videos about how to look max, how to all like it's forget all of that. And I know I've been doing it, and to be honest, like to bring the point back home, I started self-improvement like consistently 2 years ago, right? And I've been watching all these videos and everything, but realistically, if in 2021 I just started, if I was making YouTube videos since 2021, obviously there's like what's this? There's something to be taken into account, the fact that I didn't know that I wanted to do YouTube. But anyways, for the point I'm trying to make, if I started doing YouTube in 2021 and I focused on that solely, right, for 2 years, and right now it's like successful at like 100K and everything, making good money, like my life would be so much better than. And even if I was like fat, even if I was starting with the physique I had in 2021 now, and my fashion was bad, and all these things, I had to start growing my beard and everything. The most important thing would be like I'd be successful. Like I'd know like I'm making good videos, making money and everything. That's like my main thing. Then I can just start working out now. From now on, I can just start working out. I can add it on, right? And this is bringing the point that I'm trying to make is that your life has got stages. Like just there's a list. There's a priority list. Sit down and make that priority list. Write down your goals that you have. Cut out the useless stuff. Cut out the nonsense, and you're left with like maybe you're left with like five. Uh, Try cut that down more. Like what is something you don't really need to do now? Like again, the point I'm making is like, yes, okay, the last 2 years, like I've been like, focusing on like getting my fashion better and everything, but it's still limited by the fact that I don't have money, right? Well, I say I don't have money, like I don't have like a high level money, right? But if I focus on getting all that high level money right now, I could just be like, oh, let's go on a shopping spree. I'd be done. Like by the end of tomorrow, I'd have my wardrobe. Sick, right? So it's the essential few. Focus on the things that matter the most. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to join the Self Improvement Brotherhood. And until next time, see you boys.